okay, so you saw your first scary... Did the scary movie impact you at all?
I mean, I'd say yes, because shortly after that, I was kind of like... I think it was kind of like at first, like, I really liked the adrenaline sort of stuff, you know? And then I started... Because I would go and visit my grandma on occasion, also because she would, like, come and check in on us if my parents were gone for a really long time.
Yeah.
And she would start watching scary movies with me.
Oh,
and everything. And I was kind of like, oh, all right. And then I started watching scary movies alone. Also, in a house that was haunted.
Wonderful.
Amazing. One of the only movies I had to stop midway was The Grudge, because I was watching it late at night, and my sister started sleepwalking at the same time.
Oh,
and I was like,
if that would have happened to me, I probably would have just... Because I was a weird one where same thing. I loved getting scared as a kid. I don't know why. It was like a weird, like...
It's like an adrenaline. You're like...
And like not being able to sleep all night. Like I knew it probably fucked me up as a kid.
Yeah.
But looking back, I'm like, man, I remember the first time I watched... You know what movie fucked me up? Jeepers Creepers 2.
Oh.
That movie devastated me for a long time. But I just... It's weird because like horror... Like I know that a lot of families will never... Like, the parents won't watch horror.
Oh, yeah.
And then the kids never get exposed to it. And then when they have their first, like, experience of, like, actually a really quality horror movie. Like, When a Stranger Calls is a... Yeah. The original one, for the time... So good.
So good. Makes me want to rewatch it. I'm like, maybe that's what I should do tonight.
Yeah. I haven't watched that one. I haven't watched the original. Because they remade it.
Yeah.
I went and saw the remake in the theaters, and it was...
Was it alright? I've actually never seen the remake.
It's decent. It's the
decent.
Same idea, a little bit more revamped, but I...
Just like, is there any nudity in it? Is there any butts?
There was a weird movie, and I can't remember if it was the remake of that.
Yeah.
But they oddly had a scene, like, that just was so not meant to be in the movie. I don't know why they did it. Where the girl was, like, just walking around her house, like, topless, and then, like, wearing white underwear. Like really tight white underwear, and like you could see everything.
Yeah.
But it was a rated R movie, and I was like, this is really like this scene right here like ruined the movie.
Yeah.
It was either When a Stranger Called or like a movie. I think it was called Unborn or something like that.
Unborn. Because I'm like, that sounds familiar.
And I just remember that scene specifically. I was like, this is so weird to like, because it was like the way they filmed it. Was to make sure that was like the center of this whole scene.
So you're
and
like,
I was like,
all right.
Why are you like the last scene? Like she just about died, and now we're watching her walk around with like. I was like, this is.
I always feel like it's. I don't know, because I love like 70s like slasher horror, you know, where there's just like an unnecessary amount of titties.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, fantastic. I feel like that's kind of like a really good, titular point.
Yeah.
Titular point.
I see what you
Pun intended. But then I also hate how sometimes, especially like in nowadays, if they make it and they try to like, I don't know, add the like sexualization as well with the horror, and it just like doesn't fit. Because there's sometimes like where it does fit, where it's like, oh yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Friday the 13th is the perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. The whole reason that happened is because the camp counselors were fucking and he went out and drowned.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's kind of like if it like goes along with the theme or the aesthetic, but sometimes they just like to throw in some tits in there, and it's just kind of like,
It's almost like I always looked at it as like they were trying to like pay homage to like old scary movies, but like there's just times where it doesn't make sense.
No.
I did have the unique opportunity of, so my parents have always had Comcast, right?
Yeah.
In the early days of on demand, like were like a barren wasteland, right? Of just like crazy shit. And they had a horror section, and they had hundreds of like dog shit 70s and 80s horror movies. Like just
so awesome.
Like if you look up Rotten Tomatoes, because we're like in the 9s and 10s and 11s, and I remember the best one of the best ones was like, I don't remember the name. It started off with these girls in like playing softball, and they're in like short shorts and like crop tops, and I'm like, oh, this movie's gonna be hilarious. Okay, And like literally they play softball for like 3 or 4 minutes. Like, we gotta hit the showers. And they run in there, tops off, and they're just like bouncing around in the showers, and then some dude just walks in and murders all of them.
Now that
I'm like, this is a movie. We're 5 minutes in.
Yeah. Oh, this is fantastic.
I was, and like, one of the classes was the Flying Tomato.
Oh my god, yeah.
That had like gave like the tomato score, like it's because of that movie.
Yeah.
That one's amazing.
I've never actually seen that, but I've heard about it. Is
so
it good?
Awful. But that's what makes it
Yeah,
great.
but that makes it awesome. That's like, I would say one of my favorite 70s slashers is either House of Demons. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I haven't seen that one.
So good.
House of Demons?
It's, House of Demons.
We'll look it up on the fly.
It's where I have, also on my TikTok, I have a video of it where she has a bra on and she's like, and then like her younger brother pops out or something and goes, "Whoa! Bodacious boobies, sis."
Yeah! Fuck.
That's from
They remade this.
They remade it?
It says 2018, House of Demons.
No.
Right? Like,
I think so, yeah.
it has a great score of 3.3. Let me see.
I don't...
Night original.
It's so good.
1988 film?
Yeah.
Night of the Demons?
Oh, Night of the Demons, that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
This?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bodacious boobies.
Bodacious boobies, sis. I also love Slumber Party Massacre 2. Specifically 2.
I've seen the first one.
The second one is so much better.
There was also one that I really liked, and I wish I could find the name of it. It was like, oh yeah, I've seen this Slumber Party Massacre ones. They're so fucking fantastically awful.
I know. I'm like, why is this? Like, I want to, for some reason, the murder makes me want to, like, be him. Just because he's, like, dressed in, like, all this leather, and he has his, like, drill, guitar, and he's just singing songs as he's, like, murdering. Fantastic.
There was this one, and I swear that there's, like, 8 movies of it, where it's, like, this lady who goes to camps and just kills people. There's gotta be, like, at least 8 or 9 of them. And I can't I've looked, trying to find the name of it, and I just cannot figure it out. But I remember those just being so, just terribly awful.
Yeah. Where you're like, whoa.
But see, on the flip side, I just feel like everyone tries a little bit too hard in horror now. Like, don't get me wrong, like, there's a lot of good horror.
But people try real hard.
I want some more, like, shitty horror that's just so fun.
Yeah, like a good... like camp horror, you know, where it's kind of like, it's just like over dramatic, honestly, I love, what is it The Babysitter?
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's actually, the thing is it has, what's her bucket in it? Red hair, had an OnlyFans.
Oh, the really popular lady?
Yeah, the one who was friends with Zendaya.
Oh, yeah.
What's her name?
I
don't remember her name. But she's in it, and so many people are like, oh, this movie sucks. But the thing is it's like, the whole entire movie premise is paying, like, homage to the older films, and they do a great job at it.
Right.
Because it's, like, over-dramatic, lots of blood, people dying over and over again, and, like, the occasional, I don't think there's any titties in it necessarily, but it's actually kind of funny.
Right.
And then, like, really gory.
See, and I feel like some good movies that have happened recently that, like, not necessarily paid homage, but were, like, really good, like, remind me of old ones, was, like, Creep.
Oh,
Creep's fantastic.
So good!
Just because it's just so dumb and silly, but at the same time, like...
it's just, like...
It's fucked up.
Yeah, it gives you the creeps.
Yeah, like, it literally, like, the title fits perfect.
Yeah.
And then the second one was great, too.
And the second one, honestly, I was so surprised, because people are not good at making sequels.
No. That scene where he took his dick out, and then she's like, oh. And I'm like, this is great.
Damn.
She is A grade about it.
I'm so surprised that they kind of, like, they came up with another character to just match his energy.
Yeah.
And I was
she
like...
was just as creepy.
Yeah. And he even got creeped. He was like, wait a minute.
What the fuck?
What is going on?
Then I really, really like the Terrorizer.
I love the Terrorizer.
Something about how that one was filmed, like specifically out of that first scene when they're in the diner.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like it was filmed like with older cameras.
Yeah.
And it was just so well done, and like we don't get anything about the story or why. He's just a straight up murdering clown.
He's just there. And I mean, have you seen All Hallows Eve?
No, it was on my list because we talked about it last time. Yeah.
Because they have a lot of little Easter eggs from that movie in it. And it's so good. But honestly, the Terrorizer clown, 10 times creepier than the one from All Hallows Eve. They like really amped him up.
Really?
Yeah, like a lot. Because he's not even in a whole ton of it until the end.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, they said there's gonna be a second Terrorizer movie.
It was supposed to come out like last year or something, but then with like.
Thanks, COVID.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama.